Greetings to everyone world over. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening. All our brothers and sisters, those are joining all the way from Canada, United States, Latin America. Early in the morning, it's a beautiful morning. It's a green morning and it's a scintillating morning. People, those have enjoyed their lunch in the European Union, those are in UK. We do not want to touch on the other part, what is going on, because somewhere there's a disturbance also in Europe. We are not going to touch that. Let's think positive, talk positive, live positive. Why not we all live peacefully? That is something, the message we all should get it. So from the European Union, post-lunch, we will come to Central Asia. We'll go to Middle East, we go to Africa continent, and particularly a lot of brothers and sisters, those join us from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Doha, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Mauritius, Seychelles. And of course, we have got a lot of people from Kenya, Nairobi, and Senegal also. And coming to South Asia, all the countries which are surrounding beautiful Bharat, it's an early evening, so we extend a very warm welcome. Today we have got a trio because every Thursday we are with the MEPSC Sector Skill Council, education, educator, teachers, mental wellness. There are a lot of buzzwords which are going around. And people, when they talk about wellness, they talk about physical wellness, mental wellness, environmental wellness, spiritual wellness, and of course, economic wellness also, because you got to have your business going on. So ladies and gentlemen, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, let's extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Anubha Waliaji, Director, Prince Philosophy, New Delhi. Dr. Kinjal Ahir ma'am, she is Head PG Department of Economics, Sardar Patel University, Gujarat. Shri Musrat Hussain Sahab, Head Leadership and Functional School, Maruti Suzuki, India. And he's joining from a beautiful, very, very encouraging and inspiring state, that's Haryana. And Gurugram, when you think about Maruti, you should think about when Maruti had come to India, how people were so very happy and everybody started moving towards having a small Maruti, then big Maruti, then different models of Maruti, and that is the way we all moved on. So ladies and gentlemen, the chamber extends a very warm welcome to all of you, wherever you are. Take care of your health, take care of your wellness, stay fit, stay positive. Our chamber is a link because we are a little unique from others. We deal with non-resident Indian diaspora, right from the beginning, 131 countries today, 31.46 million Indians. And besides them, leading corporate houses, from time to time, we keep giving some policy matters and some interferences and some strategy papers, some think tanks and policy frameworks with regard to services sector. And services sector has given lot contribution also during pandemic, and they have suffered also quite a bit. You got to take the combination of both. When I talk about health sector, it's a services sector. When we talk about education sector, it's a services sector. You talk about vocational skills, everything, it's again services sector. So they all have taken lots of difficulties, challenges, problems, and every doctor, every nurse, every paramedical person has tried to save every life on this planet. Nobody wants to remember 25th of March 2020, but that's a part of history we all have gone through, and particularly second wave had given a lot of challenges to people. Right when the lockdown was declared on 25th of March, our chamber decided, because when we discussed with UNESCO, we came to know 1.65 billion children are away from schools, colleges, universities, and institutions. And we thought, once we are in service industry and services sector, why not we should take on education vertical? And we took 3 buzzwords and we have come a long way. If I show you the first slide, you will come to know right over here. Today is 1462nd program. More than 12,000 speakers have come on this platform, and more than 200,000 youth from world over are the part of this confluence, this potluck, and this wisdom sharing. So We took three buzzwords: making education relevant. How to make education relevant? What is the purpose of education? We are grateful to Colonel Anil Kumar Pokhriyal, the CEO of the Management and Entrepreneurship and Professional Skill Council. They are doing wonderful job, great job. It's lovely. This particular Sector Skill Council, we are doing lots of programs with them with the help of trainers and master trainers like you have got today, three distinguished guests. So economy, three parts: agriculture, manufacturing, and we are a part of services vertical. We are proud and we are very happy that almost 4 years, we worked on 12 champion sectors of service industry with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. That time, Madam Nirmala Sitharamanji was the Commerce Minister. And that is the time these 12 champion sectors were given the daylight. And finally, with the approval of the Honorable Prime Minister, there was a gadget on 28th of February 2018. Mind you, education, health and wellness are the integral part over here. But my heart bleeds when I think about services like tourism. Many people like travel agents, tour operators, tourist transporters, tourist excursionists, green tourism, nature tourism, rural tourism, wildlife tourism, ecotourism, anything I think about, they all have suffered tremendous during this pandemic, but we got to recover, we got to repackage, we got to rethink. From services, we took the journey from the Ministry of Commerce. Our chamber moved on to micro, small, and medium enterprise because a couple of years back, the total emphasis was given to manufacturing sector, and nobody was taking it, the MSME, the services that seriously, and paper after paper, strategy after strategy, and we are so very happy that in the thick of the pandemic, Madam Nirmala Sitharamanji on 13th of May 2020, she gave the final clearance and an announcement to the whole world that here onward, the services will be at par with the manufacturing sector in India. Great announcement. We are extremely happy. Education, skills, and micro, small, and medium enterprise. You think about Golden Triangle, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. Think about education, skills, and MSME. There has to be a purpose of education and skills, because if there is an outcome, where the children are going, what are they doing? Are they getting into startup? Are they becoming entrepreneur? Are they becoming self-employed? Are they going for employment? So शिक्षा, कौशलता और उद्यमिता तीनों को साथ लेना पड़ेगा. 1994, I'm the first Indian Army officer who moved on deputation to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. And after a long time, when I learned over there in a beautiful way while traveling world over, and when we drafted with our entire team India's first MBA tourism way back in 1988, it was a great learning because we took that MBA tourism program to the universities and colleges. And I was very, very happy that our team worked on that and we set up India's first Travel and Tourism Institute as well under Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, which is known as IITTF. So when I was leaving Ministry of Tourism, something was going on that the Indian diaspora, those who have gone abroad, they all the time think when we come to India, we need a platform. We want to do something for our village, how to go by, what is to be done, which way it is to be done. 1994, we brought first finishing school of service industry in India, where total emphasis was on children, music, humor, fun, dance, happiness, passion, stimulation, and Dada Dadi or Nana Nani ki stories, if we recall. Personality enhancement and communication skills. 52,000 youth and 35,000 teachers have gone through this finishing school network. And we are very happy that our thought process became a part of RUSA, Rashtriya Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. If you go to AICT website, on the home page itself, in the drop-down menu of education, you'll find a concept of finishing school that gives us a great soothing. That came 25th of March 2020. complete lockdown. And that is the day when we decided we are with the teachers and we are with the youth. We got to move in the direction. If Honorable Prime Minister announced on 10th of May that Atmanirbhar Bharat and self-reliant India, how we can contribute, humble from our direction. The brick and mortar finishing school turned totally digital. And during this pandemic, we have come a long way. We have been doing the program early in the morning at 4 o'clock for Australia, New Zealand, going to Mongolia, going to Southeast Asia, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, going to Middle East, going to, I want to say, countries wise, and in the evening with India, every day with Canada, with America, the sunrise over there, and beautiful evening in Bharat, all of us together. So now it has become inspirational lab. If there can be a physics lab, if there can be a chemistry lab, if there can be a computer lab, why can't we think about inspirational lab where the children are having only creativity, innovation, happiness? Chandigarh is going to be the first city in India where every school, every college, every institution is going to have one room dedicated to inspirational lab. All kind of wellness which has to come. And there comes the new education policy on 29th of July, 2020. What a beautiful document. And with the NCVET, we are working very closely under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi, the chairperson, and his entire team, NSDC, sector skill councils, all of them, they are doing great job. 37 sector skill councils during this pandemic, wellness sector skill council, media entertainment sector skill council, MEPSC, all of us, we have done more than 100 webinars each together. So ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon Hill long time back told, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together. Let's make education and skills relevant. Let's education be happiness. Children should not cry to come to school. They should laugh when they come to school. This program is going live world over on the GS Motivator channel. It's your channel. Every evening, 8 p.m., we all are together. And when I joined Indian Army and when I went for my training, I was coming from village background. I couldn't speak a single word in English language. And there was a friend of mine who could not speak Hindi. And we made a friendship. And that is the day I learned from him. And we took a pledge. He's my mentor also. He's my course mate also. He's from Goa, Clifton Ivan Marcus. His daughter is grown up now. And right from Mumbai, they are bringing a program, one of the greatest instruments of an artist, that is called your voice. And how can you make your voice rich? How can you make your voice matter? And if you don't believe me, see the movie called The King's Speech. You will come to know what exactly it is. So there's young boys and girls and my course mate's daughter, they are doing a program on 26th and 27th of February. So I thought, let me repay back to my course mate through his daughter. And they are doing this particular program. I extend a very warm welcome. This program is on YouTube. You can watch it, you can see it, you can see it later as well. Write down the dates, 26, 27. It will be from 3:30 to 5:30, how to become good communicator and how your voice matters. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, voice does matter. Somebody may say voice do matter. Okay, let's take both of them. There are three voices which are going to come to you. We will start with Dr. Anubha Waliaji. Then we will go to Dr. Kinjal Ahir ma'am. And then we will go to my friend Musarat Husainji, and they will share their vision. And once again, my great gratitude and thanks to all the people, those are joining from the world over. Those are the part of this particular program. Keep sharing your views on the YouTube. Keep posting your views, and best of the views every evening. Like Kaun Banega Karodpati, you get the bottom award every day. So let's go on. Join me in extending a very warm welcome to these three distinguished guests. Those are joining us today. It's indeed a great pleasure to have all three of them. And let's move on to Dr. Anubha Waliaji. You can introduce yourself. You can talk about yourself, your organization, 6 to 8 minutes. Thereafter, we go to Dr. Kinjal ma'am, and then I go to my friend Musaraji. With these words, hearty welcome to all three of you, and hearty welcome to all our brothers and sisters across the globe on the YouTube itself. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much. A warm welcome to everyone. Namaste, everybody. Really thank you, Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma, plus my two panelist member, Dr. Kinjal and Mr. Hussain. So this is something very exciting platform, and I have witnessed that, yes, the challenges faced by 21st century, education is a critical part. And the way you shared about making education relevant with having an inspirational lab starting in Chandigarh. Oh my God, that is so wonderful. So indeed, that knowledge increases both wealth and well-being. So I must compliment how MEPSC and the International Chamber of Service Industry has been targeting by training and certifying. I remember the last figure was 4.7 lakhs trainees have been trained, and more than 550 trainers have been created. So it's lovely to wear this particular hat of trainer because I'm myself into the training profession. Okay, so I would like to share, share my screen and just to tell you what exactly we are into. So I represent PRISM. PRISM is a very great decade organization. And before I jump into it, what I would like to share here is, because we're talking about the development of the youth, So they are not looking for career. In fact, they are looking for an experience. And this is what I witnessed over a period of time. And with that mantra, I realized that this is where we have to go into. So PRISM is basically primarily into the training space, focusing into the soft skills, into the certification for the youth, Gen X, Gen E, Gen Y, and also executive coaching with the yoga and wellness for ourselves. The interesting bit is that our organization has researched and came up with our own philosophy, which is prepare, respect, implement, share, and maintain. The interesting bit is that we always talk about excellence to eminence, and then we say that every individual is excellent. And with that note, I like that word of woman empowerment, which you mentioned. And this is one of our mantra, and we have our own skills academy. I'm very happy to share that 126 female students with 110 male students have been given a training, and they've made employable into the ITS segment. I say that the new skill is a real workforce with the social emotional skills, which is high in demand. And that is where we focus on. Our institute or our training interventions actually focuses all the three skills which I mentioned. But I would say the two types of life skills become very important and that need to be taught to all the generation. And I would focus to the youth. The first one is the life skills, which is a general life skills, right? And the other one is high level skills. When I say general skills, your confidence skills, self-awareness skills, how you work towards the positive behavior, way of thinking, goal setting, social support, aim of development. So these are all your general skills.
Anubha ma'am, are you moving your screen? Because we are still on the first
slide.
No,
I just don't want to. So I will
Okay.
No worries. Okay. I was about to touch that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the high level skills is primarily we have categorized into the two parts. One is onto the basic course and the specialized course. So the basic course, we say that your communication skills, your presentation skills, your quality improvement, creative problem solving, professional ethics, well-being, mindfulness are very, very apt. But with this, I would suggest all the young generation, the Gen Z and Gen Y, please specialize yourself into the enhanced courses. Focus on to the executive presence, leadership essence, marketing research, HR analytics, predictive analytics, wellness and mindfulness, research methodology. So these are very, very important, and we have to move beyond to it. So I'm sharing another slide on the screen. You can see that how relevant the skills the companies have started prioritizing, and they want to shape the people moving towards the leadership and managing others, and how these skills are becoming very crucial and important. So please, all the youngsters, focus on learning the critical thinking, project management, have the digital skills in place for yourself. And trust me, all the quant and stats is also becoming very, very crucial in a current time. I would like to give you another stats here that 87% of the companies say that they have skills gap. And when we say the skills gap, I would say all the trainers and the teachers, they need to deliver the training program, which should emphasize on the usage of amazing platform, which is there on the hybrid come and an online mode. We have started actually focusing on the physical and the psychological distance, which is created in the pandemic time. But this approach is to better engage with the youngster. And that's why I would say, please use the various platforms like Quizzes, Mentimeter, Kahoot, and Padlet, and create a great insight for your people. So this is what the insight is all about. And we have various certification programs for the youth, and we really make them, employable for the required industry. And we always look forward to empower on people, especially the female fraternity. And I would like to compliment here to us that we have touched 168,000 man-hours to our credit, and been trained and delivered by 80% of the women and 20% of the men. So I don't say that men are not good, but they're amazingly great. But yes, women empowerment is in our blood, and that is what the thing we would like to focus on. So you can touch base with us anytime. Our website is prismaphilosophy.com. We are there on the social media. Just write Prisma Philosophy or Anubha Varia and get connected with us. It will be always our pleasure to share the details and give you the best of the knowledge. Thank you so very much, sir. Pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, those are watching us on the YouTube and those are linked with us. I wish to share that Anubha ma'am made one mention over here that we are moving from career to experience. Kindly post your views on the YouTube. How do you look at it? Because earlier everybody had been talking about career, and now madam is talking about experience. Although me and Hussain Saab, we will take it with a pinch of salt that we are only 20% and 80% are women. Okay, fine, no problems. We take it with the folding hands. We'll take it in a very positive way. As long as there's a women empowerment, we are very happy as long as they take a lead, because India can become 5 trillion, 6 trillion, 10 trillion economy if the ladies are part of the entire journey in all walks of life. So my question today is, and the best answer they will take on, please write, how is the journey from career to experience? How do you take it? Because I have also learned somewhere on the World Economic Forum, when we had gone to Davos and other places, that everybody will change 5 to 6 times the job or the career or the profile in one lifetime. वो पुराना हमारे वाला टाइम गया कि जहां पर टिफिन के साथ शुरू किया था वहीं से लास्ट चेक मिला, और हुसैन साहब ने एक वॉच दे दी, एक सर्टिफिकेट दे दिया, एक मोमेंटो दे दिया और थैंक यू कर दिया, बोलो आप घर जाओ मेजर डॉक्टर गुलशन शर्मा। और उसके बाद हम आराम से बैठ गए, वो वक्त चला गया। नाउ पीपल विल चेंज एटलीस्ट 6 to 8 times. सो कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड, अपने व्यूज लिखिए. How is the journey from career to experience, and how do you look at that? And with that, I take you to Sardar Patel ji. I take you to Gujarat. I take you to wonderful university. And कहीं हम पहले बात किया करते थे पूरे भारत को जोड़ें, अब सरदार पटेल यूनिवर्सिटी से अर्थव्यवस्था की बातचीत करते हैं. Let's talk about economics, and Madam is going to give us some insight over there as well. Dr. Kinjal Ahir, ma'am.
A very, very good evening to everybody. And here the audience is such a big one. So, in fact, a good evening to the entire world here today. And Dr. Gulshan has been so kind and generous in the way he has taken forward the entire discussion. It's just an honor so much to be here. To briefly begin with, quite in contrast to what Dr. Anubha ma'am shared just now, I belong to a pretty traditional setup in terms of education. And that's where I see it more as an opportunity than as a challenge, where we are talking about making education relevant. And so while I am the head of the Department of Postgraduate Department of Economics, I'm also affiliated with Indian Society for Training and Development, and recently we could complete the mandatory assessment, and I could be rewarded as an A grade trainer by MEPSC recently. And so in my own small capacity and as a part of this wonderful network, we all are trying our every single bit to assure that the coming generation is able to live a beautiful, beautiful life. And we are here to assist that and do a little bit there in contributing this. So coming from a bit traditional setup, kindly allow me to share my screen so that I can take this argument and the discussions forward. Are we able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
And is it full screen or?
You have yet to make full screen, ma'am.
Right, yes. So I'll just do that. Is this full screen now?
Ha, perfectly fine.
And Sharmaji, you can let me know if the slides don't move in between.
Right. Sure,
so,
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I would intend to take this discussion, as I said, in a typical traditional university setup. So the kids come there for a degree, and more than a degree, we want to assure that they take back a lot more. And so the discussion today is largely focused on youth, but because it's focused on youth, and we in universities and colleges are dealing with youth, the teachers, it's equally much for us to realize and for probably inculcate and try and assure that all of this we try to imbibe in our day-to-day teaching as well. So I guess we are blessed with such a wonderful opportunity because we deal with the youth. 38.5 million youth today are studying in Indian higher education system. Probably that would not be even the population for many countries, as many as we are training today in. And India's is the biggest higher education system in the world, with more than 1,000 universities and more than 40,000 colleges, and lakhs of teachers engaged in running such a mammoth task. And to add on that, I've got here something to share, and I'm pretty sure that many my fellow teachers are already doing these wonderful tasks. But this is for youth to realize, and equally emphasizing what Anubha ma'am said, skills are important. So taking you forward, the discussion has always been it's knowledge versus skills versus values. So there is a difference between what we call as knowledge, what is skills, and what is values. It's always good to understand that, probably with an anecdote. So, we would have spoken also so many times and heard also so many times that, that guy or that lady is really very knowledgeable, but it's so boring to listen to her or him. That's where probably what is being communicated is that the person is knowledgeable, but probably lacks in skills. And it's high time. Knowledge is today online, available in such an entertaining manner that we need to realize that we need to be as much skillful, as knowledgeable in terms of delivering knowledge. And so we need to assure that only knowledge would not be enough. It has to be skillfully communicated and presented as well, to assure that the youth with the minimum attention span capabilities still stick to your lectures and listen to you with equal assertiveness. Knowledge and values. So I mean, when I was trying to think over this, that people can be knowledgeable, but they may lack values. Immediately what clicked on me was something that I read long time ago, a Holocaust survivor's letter published in Teacher and Child in Hallam Genot publication, where he's addressing to dear teachers, and he's saying, I'm a survivor of a concentration camp. My eyes saw what no man should witness. Gas chambers built by learned engineers, children poisoned by educated physicians, infant killed by trained nurses. So all of these were trained in higher education. But what was lacking was probably value systems, which did not stop them from going through such a horrific, violent times as well. So that's where knowledge, but no values. So what's required is a combination of knowledge, values, and skills. But beyond this point, I'm not going to talk about knowledge and values as much as I'm going to talk about skills. So yes, of course, there are traditional definitions also, but I'd like to temporarily skip it because I think the anecdote made it pretty clear. One can be knowledgeable, but not skillful. One can be knowledgeable, but without values. Makes no sense absolutely of the knowledge there. Well, these are some of the news clippings that have popped up on and off, which realize, so, what is being continuously told here is that, if you're going through a hiring process as an employer, I am not interested in knowing what degree you're carrying, what qualifications you're carrying. Tell me what you know. Tell me what you can deliver to the institute. So you may be BE, you may be not a Bachelor of Engineer, but I want to know what engineering capabilities can you bring on table. So the degree is maybe good, still serving as a merit, as an eligibility criteria. But what people are now looking for is absolutely skills. What you can do, tell me, rather than what you're carrying with you, right? So there are enough evidences now to prove that you need to know and tell what you can do. That's where I guess skills have come to importance. I'm going to broadly discuss two separate categories of skills. Skills for life. And it's not a very clear demarcation, because those skills which are for life are also skills for job requirement as well. So skills for life, cooking may look simplistic, but in a traditional patriarchal society, my dear lovely boys, realize this. It's a survival skill. Tomorrow you're going to go to a country where you would not be served by your lovely mom's hands or great cooks who are readily available in your country. Cooking is a survival skill. Personal hygiene, we need to realize this more and more and more. Social skills for mental health. There cannot be a more appropriate time than right now to discuss this, because kids 2 years ago were suddenly shut down in their homes. They wanted to socialize, but they couldn't socialize. First 2-3 months would have been so panicky for them to realize the fact that they are not going to be able to see their friends. And now, exactly right now, it's completely the opposite. Also the pain that they are going through. Now they are required to go to the school. There is so much of hesitation that they are feeling that, oh God, we've got to again face our friends. So social skills are important for mental health. We need to realize this. Conflict management. You day in and day out dealing with people, not machines and walls. We would indulge into conflict. We need to know how to come out of it. Apologizing is an important skill. Relationship at the cost of ego is a misery. Be apologetic when required. Asking for help. You don't become small if you ask for help. Everybody needs help. Resilience, to fight back through situations, times. Adaptability, thoughtfulness are the skills not only for life, these are going to help you in the job as well. Skills for job, written skills, but these are not typical, the essay writing, paraphrase writing, and all that you've been learning from Renan Martin and English grammar classes. report writing, letter writing, email etiquettes. We should know what CC means, what BCC means, and when and when to use it. What a trailing mail means, when or not to do trailing mails. Message writing on WhatsApp. Whom are you writing to? What do emoticons communicate? Even on social media. Now, so many companies would first see your FB profile and then bring on call for you on an interview. So you being completely under a purview. Verbal communication schemes, volume. If I were to speak this loud, you would get so irritated, is it not? If I were to speak this way, you would not listen. The correct volume is important. Realizing the microphone's capabilities, the tone in which you speak. If I were to speak Jana Gana Mana like a nursery rhyme, wouldn't bring all the shaurya required in Jana Gana Mana. The tone, the pitch, the pauses and emphasis. I would have loved to demonstrate each of these, but it would take another hour. I'd not like to indulge into that. The non-verbal communication skills, the body language, how you stand in a group, how do you shake hand? How do you shake hand with a female, a male? How do you shake hand with an elderly? How do you shake hand with a boss? How do you shake hand with a junior, a senior? There are so many aspects to it which you should groom yourself into. Skills for job, negotiation skills. No one better than your mom to teach you this when she's doing the entire negotiation with the sabji wala. Take care and learn from there. Teamwork. The biggest problem that I have with the current education system is it's become so mono-performing institute. You don't teach teamwork, whereas in your entire life, you've got to indulge into teamwork. Important for you to learn. Decision-making skills can begin with simple things. Go about choosing your own clothes rather than relying on your mom and dad and friends in choosing. And gradually learn how to make. It's okay to make mistakes. No one's perfect, but learn to make decision-making. Leadership is important. Leadership does not require a chair to be a leader. You can be a leader at any end, any level of work. Critical thinking skills. I'm pretty sure you've heard of 6 thinking hats, where you need to have a critical angle also, a positive angle also. If you've not heard of it, you should Google it. And so probably you would understand that better. Decision-making skills is a chart where you say problem, criteria, option, evaluation, decision, action plan, contingency plan. So if I were to choose from my wardrobe, what clothes do I want to wear? That's a problem statement. Criteria, is it hot? Is it cold? Decision, okay, I choose this one. Problem, criteria, options, decision, action plan, I go about wearing that. In case if it doesn't work, contingency plan, you choose another option of the cloth. And it can be taught so simply, the decision-making skills also. Time management, we are rushing for it. We need to learn it. Simple trick, do small things as and when you can complete it, finish it off. Otherwise, there can be an entire session on time management. Learn to say no. And how do you do it respectfully? By telling your boss, sir, okay, this is also a task to be done. This is also a task to be done. You tell me what to prioritize. Willingness to learn, giving and receiving feedback, right? So if you were to tell a small kid that you've not done this right, how do you do it? So you tell him probably, this is how I did a mistake, and then probably bringing him in. Networking, I cannot overemphasize this. Observation, it's so much to learn. It's, this is an outdated idea where to say, it's fun to learn from others' own mistake. It's no more fun to learn from your own mistake. Learn from others' mistake and do not repeat them. Organizing skills, I don't have time, but you please browse through Japanese 6S concept. Like, every time you've lost your key and the productive time that you wasted in searching for your keys, probably 6S was a skill you were required to learn. There are very many values that are important. I'll not go into this, but at least one good thing that I'd like to discuss is it's okay to cry. I would invite you all to watch this lovely TEDx video by Justice Boldoni, where he says and emphasizes how, and the title is, When I'm Done Trying to Be Man Enough, right? So it's a beautiful TEDx video, which you would love to watch probably. And it's okay sometimes to speak Safed Jute if you think that in the society, it's bringing more welfare. There can be so many other things also which we can discuss, but I want to leave the platform open for the other people as well. For the teachers, we need to realize that the youth need to learn this. And for the students, you don't have the choice but to live in this world. And so proudly that way, enjoy this journey where the skills are being emphasized so much. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure you have it in you, all that it takes to inculcate such skills. Thank you so much, Gulshan ji, for giving me this
Thank you.
opportunity and the platform.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think me and Hussain ji might have met Nelson Mandela in South Africa, because I learned something from his books and from his reading, something very interesting, where it was mentioned. People asked him, how could you be so cool? How could you be so humble? How could you be so cooperative? And how could you be the last speaker? He told, I learned this from my father. And he said, whenever the tribal people used to come and they used to talk in Kabila, they all used to sit in a circle so that they can see each other, they can face each other, they can see eye to eye. And second part, he said, my father was very smart, like Musarrat Hussain ji. And he was the last speaker to speak so that he can pick up the threads, what others are conveying, what exactly is going on over there. And second advantage, by the time Dr. Anubhaji started, we had 242 people on YouTube. And by the time Musarrat Hussain ji has come, I have got 802 people on this. So it is an advantage, and it is a great advantage. You pick up a lot of threads, what others have conveyed, and then you give your mind. So Musarrat ji, all yours. The world is yours. Continents are yours. But please don't attack any country. We want to go peaceful way, very decent and a nice way, through the knowledge, through the wisdom. मारुति के बारे में हम इतना कुछ सुना करते थे, और शुरू में एक छोटी सी कार ली थी, मुझे अभी भी याद है, और उस छोटी कार को लेने के बाद हमको लगता था हमारे पास बहुत बड़ी विरासत है, और आज तो मारुति ने बहुत कुछ दे दिया है. And yours is a leadership and a functional school. We wish to hear you. We wish to get the wisdom from you. With these words, Musarrat Hussain ji.
Thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma. Thank you for this opportunity. And it was very nice to hear Dr. Kinjal and Dr. Anubha. I was just wondering where to start and what to talk. I was very intensely listening to Dr. Kinjal and Dr. Anubha. So let me give a little bit of perspective, because I am from auto industry and manufacturing. So let me start by saying that we are very proud to start the automobile revolution in India, and we are happy to say that we have put India on the wheels. One of the thing that we take pride is that Maruti has been able to fulfill the aspirations of millions of middle class Indian to own a car. Actually, car used to be a dream. Even for a scooter, people used to wait for years at one point of time. And thanks to Maruti, which came in early 80s, and it was competing with 2-3 companies that time. And today, almost 40 years, we are here in India, and now more than 25 companies are competing with us. And we still command close to 50% of market share, which is an eventful journey. We have been, through various phases. We started as a public sector, then we became a joint venture. Today we are completely Japanese, and we have 4 generations of people working. So I'll talk about the competencies, capability, and other need of these people. But just to tell quickly about me is that I am a HR professional with more than 3 decades of experience in various corporate, and I have been in various roles in various organizations, and I have worked in plant role, worked in corporate role, and one of my most eventful journey has been last 8-10 years, where I am in the learning development education, as you can say. So in Maruti, one of the biggest thing that we talk about for our leadership is that, given the kind of competition that we are seeing in India, what will define your edge? How you will be in the pole position? See, if you look at one of the world's biggest names are in India. If you talk about technology, if you talk about all other aspects, What we say is that what differentiates Maruti from competition. And when we say what differentiate, of course, you will talk about price or fuel efficiency or network. These are there. But ultimately, what differentiates Maruti from competition is its people. And when we say people, it does not mean people in real term. It is the people who are capable, people who are skilled, and people who are creating that differentiation. But how do you do that? How do you do that? So Maruti had from day one a very good concept, which we are still following, is that we are different by saying that we believe in building talent rather than buying talent. So build versus buy concept, if you talk about, more than 90% of talent will come through the campus road, whether it is an engineer, whether it is management trainees or MBAs or diploma holders or what you call ITIs. So we catch them young, and this is where we try to build the talent pipeline, and that's not going to be easy, because for all other organization, it's very easy. You want to build your pipeline, you can simply poach from any organization. It's very simple, but then you are not able to build sustainability and the culture that you want. And in Maruti, the concept is that when we hire people, we hire for lifetime, which is not a concept now. People work for 3 years, 5 years, and it is supposed to be a kind of a period that is good enough. But today, if you look at the kind of talent that we could get in Maruti from very beginning, they are still with us, and our attrition is one of the lowest in the segment or industry, very, very low. In fact, people leave for higher education or people leave for other aspects. I'll talk about those aspects also. But in short, this is what is differentiating Maruti from competition. And to be on the pole position, we have to keep on having some game-changing, processes, practices, and something that will differentiate us from competition. So I'll not take names of companies, but there are the global giants and global leaders who are, competing with us in India. So in India, I can very, say comfortably that, we are way ahead by miles. And just to give a small, information, that Maruti is able to roll out a car every 12 seconds. Every 12 seconds, a car is rolled out from Maruti, which is nowhere in the world. And this efficiency, this kind of, what you call transformation, is only happened because of the people that we had here who could create this kind of efficiency level. Now coming to how do we retain it? So in fact, now when we are talking about 2030, and when you look at automotive sector in India, employing 37 million people, poised to grow to 65 million, contributing around 7.2% to the overall GDP of the economy, and almost 49% of the manufacturing GDP. So you can see the sheer size of this sector. But the problem is that 37 million people, the kind of mega trends which is happening, disruption which is happening in the entire world and industry. See, if you look at the societal mega trends globally, quickly I'll tell, climate change and environmental degradation is a big issue. Demographic trend, globally, there is an aging population. Thankfully, in India, we have a very young population. Rapid urbanization is happening. Digital disruption is actually happening, and pandemic has actually accelerated the pace of this disruption. There is a rising middle class. And if you look at the automotive sector, we are seeing unprecedented disruption because of the technological changes which is happening, and business models are changing. People preferences are changing. So if I talk about mobility trend globally, there is a concept called ACEs. And this is autonomous, connected, electric, and shared. This is very common. Just quickly, let me explain. Autonomous, when we say, we are talking about fatigue-free and safer vehicle. Connected is, all kind of, accessibility and all that you have. Electric, you keep hearing these days, which is zero tailpipe emission. And there is a shared ride sharing, which is better asset utilization, because you have seen the rise of Olas and Ubers. So this is all transforming, but there are many, many more transformation happening in this sector. And that is the reason that when we talk about hard skill, we talk about soft skill, business skill, all these needs to be aligned to current need and future need. How do you do that? That kind of change is not happening in the education sector. And there is still a gap between what is desired and what is actually being produced, to the extent that, the government of India now has come up with the new education policy and all, which is of course going to redefine what's going to happen in future. But as an industry, to have an edge, long back we decided that in Maruti, let's have our own captive academy, which is like a corporate university, as you would call. So we created it in the sense that we had training in different areas, but to harness the collective energy of all, we segregated and brought in many under the umbrella of training academy. And this training academy basically is having 4 distinct schools. So first is leadership school, and this leadership school is basically talking about soft skill and leadership, and developing cognitive behavior, personality, which is very important in the Japanese kind of culture. Discipline is very important, and we work across bands, across level, whether blue collar, supervisor, or white collar. But we do not only work for Maruti, we work for the entire value chain, which is dealers, our partner companies in component manufacturing companies, and we even support Suzuki globally also. And then we have one of the biggest school is called functional school, which is actually a technical school. Here we have created a lot of center of excellence, finishing schools. We have dojo centers. These are to enhance the hard skills. And as you know that technology is changing so fast, so it's always very, very important that people are trained. In fact, to the extent that even when a CA or a MBA joins, we make them go through a 1 week of orientation in the finishing school, where they have to, assemble a kind of a car, so they know how things are being done. So it's a fun as well as a kind of a simulation. So they have paint simulators, they use that. So it's making things much easier, but they should understand that, how a car is made. If you are in HR, you only talk about people management and people development, but you don't know how actually a shop floor works. Then it's important that we train them. So we created that, and we have a big vocational school where we run courses on ITIs, and which is, having an earn value learn kind of scheme, where thousands of, underprivileged children from, catchment areas are brought in, and they are trained and they are deployed and they are made employable. Similarly, in sales and service, we are doing a lot of work. We have created newer course actually, which never existed. Say automotive retail, there is no course. So we created that, and those are now part of various skill universities and all. And similarly for service, we are working. So on and so forth. We have even global training school where our engineers are trained in Japan and things like that. So it is a huge academy where it's very important that we how we train our people and in the value chain, which is very important. And not only that, we have to ensure that the kind of partners we have, kind of trainers we have, kind of content that we are creating, because that is also very, very important. And we partner everywhere, including Japan and other places, to ensure that we have the kind of latest and the updated version of all these things. So huge team works back end to ensure that. And we are happy that today, and we are actually no profit and kind of a center. So that is something we take pride in. But what is also important to tell is that, we, apart from this, Maruti also has been running something what we call various ITIs. These are part of our CSR scheme. We run polytechnic also. To the extent we run schools also. So in Gurugram, we have 2 schools and 1 school in Gujarat that we are running. So as part of education. And other than that, we also run kind of a PPP mode, a driver Institute of Driver Training and Research, which is a very large institution, and that was opened long back. And it has trained millions of drivers, because we believe that when we are making car, if drivers are reckless, millions of lives are lost because of accident. So we worked a lot in terms of training people there. So these are some of the areas that comes to my mind immediately to create that differentiating factor. But uh, I'll also be interested in talking about in my next this thing. But just before I close, see, let me tell you, the the future of work is that workmen and workplace all are getting redefined, and it is at such a rapid pace that companies are not able to cope with that. So what academy is doing is working on all these aspects and how things are changing. And like Dr. Anubha was talking about, there's another concept that has come in terms of when you say worker or people. uh, Earlier, the concept was attract, develop, and retain, that we have been doing for decades. Today, there is a new concept which has come. It is called access, curate, and enrich. So when you look at people in the organization and when they say that when they have resigned and they are leaving, what is the reason for that? So gone are the days when people left for title or people left for money. Those are now much lower in the order. Number one is, when we talk to people, they say that our learning curve is become flat. So learning is not happening, so I'll be quitting. So what we are talking about, accessing talent is will always remain very important, getting the right kind of talent and unique employee experience you have to create. So you have to treat each employee uniquely, and it cannot be monotonous. You have to have some creativity and then enrich the job so that their learning curve is sharp. This is what is something phenomenon I have seen in the last 5 6 years when we talk to youngsters and people. And as you know, the youngsters constitute almost 50 60% of our manpower strength, and their needs are totally different. And in the learning school that I was talking about, we have gone, pandemic has pushed us to go digital. So we already had almost 800 hours of learning content. So it is all hosted on cloud. And what we are seeing is that people are not interested today in 8 hours, 12 hours of classroom lecture. They are more interested in anywhere, anytime, on the go kind of a learning. So WhatsApp and all this, though there are a lot of junks there, but still lot of contents are pushed through that. But LXPs and e-learning platforms have actually redefined the entire space of learning, and not only for employees or people, but even for trainers. The kind of content that you are actually getting, and the kind of information that you are getting today, which was not there 5 7 years 10 years back. So the whole world has been redefined, and in fact it is going to be further redefined. But one thing I would like to add is that for our academy, we were also exploring a lot of certification and things like that. And there I found that the MEPSC certification for trainer and master trainer is fantastic. And that gives the right kind of balanced approach for a people. And this is something which is coming very, very meaningful. And in fact, I would like to thank MEPSC for creating such a wonderful program. So thank you very much. I have in fact taken more time, but I went on and on. So please bear with me. Thank you.
It was a professional and emotional journey into the Maruti. It was something very scintillating. And I didn't want to stop you over there. Ladies and gentlemen, the clock has already clicked 2 minutes past 9 p.m. I have surpassed 2 minutes extra because at 9:05 Indian Standard Time, I have got a program in Canada, and that is in Toronto. And we will work on, but I've got 1 more minute. Let's leave this over here while thanking all three the speakers today. Dr. Anubha Walia ji, Dr. Kinjal Ahir ji, and Musrat Hussain ji. I just wish to leave on 3-4 points, very important. Number one, when Anubha ji made a mention that 87% companies, they always say there's a skills gap. I fail to understand why don't we invite corporate sector to come and be a part of formulating syllabi? Let them be a part of it. अरे मेरी जागीर थोड़ी है कि आप मैं ही सिलेबाई बनाऊंगा. जिसकी डिमांड है, जिसकी खपत है, जो लेने जा रहा है, उनको इनवाइट कर लेते हैं. नंबर 1. नंबर 2,
Well,
हम क्लास
sir, if I can just
हम क्लासेस
being a
हम क्लासेस ले रहे हैं, हम पढ़ाई करा रहे हैं. Why don't we invite these corporate once in a week, once in 10 days, once in 15 days to come and do a project work, do a case study, do a practical part, do whatever is needed in education ecosystem. It is very important. I think corporate sector got to be integral part right from the concept to the curriculum, to the delivery, to the consumption. Let them become. And जो इन्होंने कहा कि let's move from attract, develop and retain to access, curate and enrich. It's wonderful. बताइए डॉक्टर किंजल जी. एंड मैं 1 मिनट और मेरे पास है क्योंकि 9:05 पर मुझे कनाडा पहुंचना है. हाँ जी.
Yeah, being on the panel and representing the university setup, it would be an injustice for me at this point not to share this with you. Syllabus framing committees have now an integral part of inviting industry people. They are a part of this. In fact, we have all the universities mandatorily now have industry institute partnership cells where they are the formal part also of this entire process.
Wonderful.
It's just
Wonderful.
that it has to work more in unity.
Wonderful.
Thank
Wonderful. So that is something very interesting. And before we close down, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come because 12,000 speakers को सुनने के बाद मुझे ये भी समझ आ गया education में when teacher was the only source to speak, the education was teacher centric. उसके बाद हमने term लाए learning centric. फिर हम लेकर आए teacher as a facilitator. फैसिलिटेटर किस चीज की फैसिलिटेशन चाहिए? नॉलेज एबंडेंस में अवेलेबल है, बच्चे को फैसिलिटेशन नहीं चाहिए. नाउ द लेटेस्ट आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम ऑस्ट्रेलिया द अदर डे फ्रॉम द टेफ. व्हाट अ माइंड ब्लोइंग वेबिनार वी हैड. दे टोल्ड टीचर इज अ co-learner now with students. That is the latest what we got to pick up. So thank you very much for being a part of the journey today. And it was such a wonderful to have all three of you. We all have enjoyed and thank you very much. By the time I close the session, let me just share over here and we have touched 904. 904 are the audience from the world over. Those are live posting their views on this program. And by the time you see it tomorrow,